All right, hello Washington Eagles. It is Friday, May 2nd, and we're still working with some fractions. We are comparing fractions, and so remember, fractions are part of a whole. So you have your numerator and you have your denominator, and your denominator is the whole, and your numerator is the parts of the whole. So, for example, here is our whole. Our whole would be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we were to make this, to show this as 3/4, there's 1, 2, 3. Of course, all these parts would be equal. But I'm just showing you. So if we have, so we're just going to jump right into it. So we have the fraction 3/4, and we're going to compare it to 1/3. Okay. So here's our 1/3, here's our 3/4. If we were to compare this, well, if you look at this, 3/4 is almost to a whole. You're almost to a whole. And 1/3 is still not quite to one whole. So you're still 2 parts away from one whole. So 1/3 is less than 3/4. Now, one thing that we're going to do today, so we're just, well, I kind of want to start off comparing with the same denominators, but I started off comparing with 2 different denominators. So Leo threw me off. He jumped in my lap and everything just went out the window. Okay, so we have this little, he doesn't understand how it's not easy doing this with a cat in my lap. And I push him down, and guess what? He hops right back up because he doesn't understand. No for an answer. Okay. So if we had this number grid, so here's our whole, here's a half, here's our thirds, here's our fourths, our fifths, our sixths, our eighths, ninths, and tenths, and twelfths, okay? And so if we were in class, we'd totally have one of these in front of us, and we'd be comparing fractions in this manner. So if we were looking at 3/4 compared to 1/3, well, here's 3/4 and 1/3. So obviously, if we were to look at this using our number line, or using this fraction strip, we could see easily that 3/4 is going to be bigger than 1/3. But 3/4 and 2/3 are very close together. But still, 3/4 is bigger than 2/3. So we're going to be using this today. And we can draw some pictures to show what this might look like. A number line probably wouldn't work very well because it's hard to make those even and to see that. So I'm not going to use a number line, but we can definitely draw pictures and use this. And you can easily find this on, just type in, what did I type in? I think I just did, I don't know, fraction sheets. I have no idea what I typed in there. Sorry, guys. My brain is just suddenly gone kablooey. All right, so we're going to be comparing fractions that don't have the same denominator, just like we did here. But because, quite frankly, if we were to compare 1/4 and 3/4, I think we're going to know 1/4 is going to be smaller than 3/4, right? That's going to be kind of like, yeah, we get that. Okay, so 1/4 compared to 3/4, no problem. All right, so we're going to be comparing fractions that have a different denominator, and that's okay. That's quite all right. What if we compared 1/4 and 2/8? Let's try that. Let's try 1/4 and 2/8. Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing, I kind of want you to kind of visualize this. So if we have an 1/8 and then a 1/4, I know that there are more parts to this 1/8 than into the 4th, right? So let's just shade in 2 parts of an 1/8. Which isn't a whole lot. Well, let's shade in a 4th. 1/4. 1 part of 4. Well, those look pretty close, don't they? Yeah, they are. These are equal to each other. And I know this because automatically when I see 4 and 8, and I know that 4 is a multiple of 8. So I know that, I wonder if these two will be the same, if these are equivalent fractions. So what times 4 is 8? 2. All right, that's cool. If we know that 4 times 2 is 8, and if we're trying to make an equivalent and see if these are equivalent, what are we going to do? Yeah, we're going to multiply the 2 up here. 1 times 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. So 1/4 and 2/8 are equivalent fractions. They're equal to each other. All right. So let's try another one. Let's do 1/4 and 1. Did we do 1/4 and 1/6? I don't know. So let's do 1/4 and 1/6. Now, most of the time, when we see larger numbers like 6 is bigger than 4, we might tend to think, oh, a 6 is going to be bigger than a 4th. Well, in the fraction world, it's not. It's not true. Because there actually, so there are 4 parts to one whole, and there are 6 parts to one whole. And so these 6 have to be smaller than a 4th. Because it takes 6 of them to make one whole, and it only takes 4 to make one whole. 4 over 4 is 1, 6 over 6 is 1. So if we look at this, we see 1/6 is pretty small, and 1/4 is going to be bigger. Okay? So it's kind of the opposite in the fraction world. When we work with decimals, we'll kind of see that still. Fractions and decimals work very well together, but we're not worried about decimals right now. So we're going to look at this. Yes, 1/4 is bigger than 1/6, but let's draw that out. Let's show it. Okay, so I'm going to try to make my circle about the same size. Do my best. And let's make a 6th. Oh, I don't know. I didn't do that very well, did I? I sure did not. I did not do that very well. Sorry, friends. Okay. I still don't think that's going to be, goodness gravy. Okay. All right, so we're pretending, let's see, I got to make this better. I've just got to. Okay. I'm trying to think what I'm doing wrong. Like, what can I do to make this better? Okay, there you go. That's just going to have to work, okay? We can't spend all day on this. So let's shade in 1/4. And let's shade in 1/6. They're not that far off from each other, but still a 4th is bigger than a 6. So 1/4 is greater than 1/6, okay? All right, let's try another one. Let's do, how about 1/3 and 2/5? Let's compare 1/3 and 2/5. Now, visually, you're going to think, okay, there's 3 parts and only 1 part of that is shaded. And then you have 2/5. So you have 5 parts, but they're smaller, but there's more shaded. So, I don't know, this could be up in the air. I'm not sure. So let's draw a picture, and I'm going to try to make them as equal as possible. Again, not always easy to do. See, that's just terrible. I just can't do it. I can't draw those. So we're going to use this, okay? So we're comparing 1/3. All right, just because it drives me crazy. Okay, so okay, that might be a little bit better. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 1/3 and 2/5. So if we're going to shade in 1/3. Okay, well, this may be Let's see. This is really close. And again, these are not equal. But I know, let's look at our number grid because that way we can really see. So let's look at a third right there. There's a third. And how many parts out of 5? 2. So this is very close. 2/5 is just a little bit bigger than that 1/5. Okay, so 2/5 is bigger than 1/3. I think we can kind of see it on this. That does look bigger than that one. So, so again, let's look at this one more time. So we have a third. So we're shading in a third. There's our third. That doesn't look very dark. So there's our third compared to 2/5. So now I'm going to shade in 2/5. And although, again, they are very close, but 2/5 is larger than 1/3. My puppy dog's barking at somebody, okay? All right, so cool beans. All right, so if you don't want to print one of these up, or you don't even have to print it up, you can still look at it off the internet and just kind of compare. Make sure your parents help you find these things and start comparing our fractions. And all right, it's Friday. Go outside and have a great day. Love you guys. Stay safe. Miss you. Bye.